say they want.
Has UKIP targeted you yet?
I'm sure they will stand in my constituency.
But have they asked you personally to join the party?
No.
Tempted?
No, not at all. No, because I want a referendum on our EU
But there
membership.
will be others, won't there? We're going to see others, possibly in the Kent and Sussex.
I think it would be bizarre and hypocritical for other Conservative MPs to defect to UKIP, because if you want an EU in-out referendum, the only way to achieve it is to elect a Conservative government. Okay. Doing anything else threatens that. Let's
bring in Will Scobie, because Nigel Farage launched a full frontal assault on Labour at the conference in Doncaster, and the momentum is undoubtedly with him at the moment. You're Labour's main weapon against him in South Thanet. So how galling was it for you when your leader, Ed Miliband, left immigration out of his speech last week?
Well, you say Nigel Farage is starting a full frontal assault on South Thanet, but he hasn't been back in the last month since he's been selected. And actually, we haven't seen UKIP on the ground. I think Labour is leading in South Thanet, and we're going to win it because we've got the people, we've got the ideas, and we've got policies.
But you're not talking about the things they want you to. As I just mentioned, Ed Miliband left immigration out, whether it was intentional or not. It's the #1 issue with most of the people you need to come over to your party next May.
Well, I disagree. When we're talking to people on the doorstep, people are not necessarily talking about the European Union. Immigration does come up.
No, not the European Union, immigration. Yeah. There's a distinction here, although UKIP often put them both together.
Yeah, immigration does come up in the doorway, but so does jobs. And the point is that Labour is tackling a lot of people's concerns about immigration by saying that we are going to enforce the minimum wage and make sure that companies cannot exploit workers and undercut British wages.
But they don't trust you, unfortunately. All the polling suggests they do trust UKIP on immigration. They don't trust Labour. And also, as we heard for the party conference over the last couple of days, UKIP's now targeting that squeeze middle that Ed Miliband used to talk about all the time with this new tax rate Nigel Farage mooted. You're not mentioning them at the moment. You're not speaking to them.
Well, clearly the tectonic plates of this country are shifting. You can see the chaos that's there with the Conservatives at the moment, with Tory MPs defecting to UKIP, and there's absolute chaos. I've got a strange thing. The Tory candidate standing against me used to be UKIP, has now gone Tory. There's absolute confusion, and the point that we're saying is that Labour has policies that are going to deliver for working people, dealing with the NHS, dealing with private sector housing, taking on the fact that South Thanet is a low-wage black spot. Labour has policies to deal with that. UKIP does not.
OK. Will, thank you very much for joining us. Mike Glennon, interesting what we're hearing there from South Thanet. Your leader, who's obviously a very busy man, hasn't got time to campaign in the seat he wants to get elected in.
Well, I remind you we've had a very important conference at Doncaster in Ed Miliband's own backyard, and what a glorious conference it was, I mean.